Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very special video for me to make, as I've been excited to make this and I'm finally doing it. And that is my review for Peel Back and See by Mike Thorn. But before I get into this video, let me just announce a competition I'm going to be doing. I am going to be doing a giveaway for this book. Peel Back and See is a short story collection and it focuses around cosmic horror. And I will be giving the winner or winners the book through Amazon. So I will be sending it to you guys via Amazon in your respective countries. This just saves on time and it saves on postage as well. Also, if you are living in Canada and you want to enter this giveaway, you will get the chance to win a personally signed copy of this book by Mike himself. And when it comes to the amounts of the books that I will be giving away, I'm not entirely sure, but what I do know is that depending on how many people enter this giveaway, if it is a lot of people, then I will be increasing the amount of copies I will be giving away. So in order to enter this giveaway, it's really easy. All you have to do is be subscribed to me. Your channel doesn't have to have any videos at all, but as long as you're subscribed to me, you qualify for this giveaway. And if you want to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is comment a book emoji down below in the comments and make it extremely obvious that you want to enter this giveaway. And I will leave it wide open. I will leave it open until the end of April, which is the 30th of April, I believe. So you have the rest of March and the entirety of April to win a copy of this fantastic book. So I have been a fan of Mike's work ever since I was introduced to him by Nikki from Dark Between Pages. And I read his first book, which is called Shelter for the Damned. I've done a whole video review on it and all this stuff will be linked down below as well. And I also read his expanded edition of one of his short story collections, which is called Darkest Hours. Both of them I really enjoyed, and I was so excited to be sent a advanced reader copy of this book on my Kindle. So before I get into telling you guys what all these fantastic stories are all about, let's just go straight over to Mike Thorn, the man himself now, where he'll be telling you guys a little bit about himself and talking about Peel Back and See as a whole.
I'm Mike Thorn. I'm the author of the short story collection Peel Back and See, which is available now from Journalstone. Pretty much the entirety of this collection, which is comprised of 16 stories, I wrote between 2018 and 2021, with a few exceptions. Entropy Major was originally published in 2017, and I originally wrote The Finger Collectors and This Is the World around then as well. But as a result of the fact that it was written during a relatively confined time period, the book has a set of recurring fixations that I hadn't necessarily been conscious of going in until I compiled all of the stories. So many of these stories deal with depression, anxiety, corporate and systemic corruption, the internet and social media, and its kind of pernicious effects on both the individual and the social self. And also, just more broadly speaking, a fixation on a dissolution of self. Close to publication, or relatively close to publication, while I was working on the manuscript with Journalstone, I kind of became more conscious of a lot of these thematic undercurrents, and I realized that the book kind of needed bookends to contain everything in a really kind of cohesive way. So the stories Havoc and Fade to White I wrote actually fairly close to publication, a few months before, and then of course we went through the editorial process on those as well. But those two stories in tandem with Deprimer, which is around the middle of the book, those kind of serve as the spine of Peel Back and See. That's the way I see it anyway. The entire book is not relentlessly bleak and dark, although much of it is, but there are a couple exceptions that I think are just fun, escapist genre fiction. that's what I hope anyway. Mr. Mukata's Final Requests and The Furnace Room Mutant. I was just kind of having some fun playing with tropes, playing with genre conventions that interested me, and just exploring genre worlds that I thought would be fun to spend some time in. But yeah, I do think Peel Back and See sees me in a different space as a writer. All of my fiction is personal to some degree, but my previous short story collection, Darkest Hours, served more overtly as a kind of extended homage to genre legacies, to horror cinema and horror fiction. And I feel like I kind of got that out of my system. And Peel Back and See, as a result of that, is just kind of more direct, in a sense, closer to the bone. I'm always filtering my emotional and mental kind of obsessions through fictional characters, fictional situations, and especially through genre frameworks. But in this case, it feels somehow, I don't know, more immediate. That's the way the stories read to me anyway. It is a very bleak and pessimistic book overall. I'm glad to have written it, but it was very difficult, and I'm also kind of glad to be done with it now, and now to unleash it upon you. Hopefully you will allow it to be unleashed on you. You will welcome its darkness into your world. Thank you so much for reading and for listening, and stay spooky, everybody.
Thanks, Mike. And if you want to contact Mike, I will have a bunch of contact information for him down below, and please do not hesitate to reach out to him. He is such a friendly and nice person. He really is. I just want to give credit to the publisher of all of Mike's books, and that is Journal Stone. I forgot to mention it in my top favourite books of last year, and Mike brought it to my attention, so I just wanted to shine a light on the publishing house which Mike uses for all of his books. So I'm just going to say all the titles' names, what I rated it, and a little blurb about what it's all about. And apologies if I mispronounce anything as well. So the first one is called Havoc, and I rated it 4 stars out of 5. So this is about an individual that is struggling with suicidal thoughts, and he is drinking and smoking a lot, and he comes across this weird video online that has this strange creature, and the creature kind of sees him, and it's a very, very weird video and a very strange story, and I loved it so much. Next one is called Minnie McDough Manor, and I rated this a 3.5 stars out of 5. This is about a woman who has a miniature replica of her family house, and she has tragically lost her parents, and her and her brother have to go back to their real family house and to face her demons. Next one is called Mr. Macaca's Final Request, and I rated this a 3 stars out of 5. And this is about a woman who is taking care of a man who is dying of cancer, who has made a strange pact with the devil. But the question is, can she save someone that she doesn't really like? Next story is called At Gorio Yama 2013. I rated this a 2.5 stars out of 5. This is about a man who is obsessed and passionate about music, but recently he has been struggling to produce anything. And he comes across an individual online that is basically his #1 fan. And when they meet up in person, it doesn't really go according to the way he saw it. Next one is called Dreams of Lake Druka, and I rated this a 3.5 stars out of 5. And this is about 2 sisters who drive to a lake where their mother drowns, and when they are there, they discover this strange demon or creature that was somehow involved in their mother's tragic passing. Next one was called Exhumanation, and I rated this a 2 stars out of 5. And this is about a man who is attending his cousin's funeral, and while there, he discovers this mysterious cult. I guess I didn't really like this one as I can't remember much about it, and I only rated it 2 stars. Next one is called Vomitus Bachangelis. I probably butchered that completely, but it's on the screen anyway. I rated this a 4 stars out of 5, and this is a group of high society individuals that go to these parties and these events to eat this specific delicacy that is prepared by aliens. And yes, you did hear me right. This is a specific delicacy that is from this alien's homeworld, and when these humans eat it, they throw up in this massive bowl, and this is what the aliens eat. It was a very enjoyable story. It was probably one of the highlights for me from this collection as a whole. Next one is called The Finger Collectors. I rated this 3 stars out of 5. And this is a very unusual one about a man who is recruited by this high society couple that live in this massive mansion. They tell this individual, or this group of individuals, to go out and not essentially kill people, but in essence chop off their victims' fingers or thumbs and bring them back. It's a very unusual story, but I liked it nevertheless. Next one is called This Is the World, and I rated this 2 stars. And this is basically a crime story about a group of men who commit a series of crimes with the assistance of this strange metal crucifix that they have. That has some sort of powers, I suppose. And one man is trying to escape, and is also dealing with memories from his past with his uncle as well. I must have not liked this story so much because I wrote boring and I underlined it, so this was probably the lowest point in the book for me. Next story is called The Primer, and I rated this a 4 stars out of 5. And this is about a man with suicidal thoughts that goes to see this gentleman that tells him that he can not necessarily hear his thoughts, but hear his depressive thoughts only. So I was left with the question whether this man was a actual con man or whether he actually did hear this individual's thoughts, but I really liked it. Next one was called Offer to the Adversary, and this got a 2.5 stars out of 5. And this is about a woman who is obsessed with this painting with this questionable history to it, and it basically portrays a individual or individuals being sacrificed to this strange creature. Next one is The Furnace Room Mutant, and I rated this a 3 stars out of 5. This is a very basic storyline about a group of boys in a high school that tell this one loner kid that there is a strange mutant or creature living in the basement of their school, and they want to try to befriend this individual and to coax them going into the basement and trying to see whether this creature exists and discover it, basically. This doesn't really go well for the individual as he is kind of tricked into doing this, and I liked it even though it was a very simplistic story in the vein of a Goosebumps story. Next one is called Virus, and I rated this a 2 stars out of 5. I didn't write much for this, so I just wrote it's about 2 girls that are transported to another dimension with talking scarecrows via the use of a website. Next one is called The Voiding. I rated this a 3 stars out of 5. And this is about a writer who goes to a doctor to try to improve his craft. If you are an author or a writer, you might enjoy that story a little bit more than I did. Next one is called Entropy Major, and I rated this 4 stars out of 5. And this is about a man who is convicted of murdering his son, and he is sent to a specific location where time doesn't exist anymore and darkness rules. And it's a very good story. If I was to think about it, this would probably be one of the highlights of this book. And the last one is called Fade to White, and I rated this a 3.5 stars out of 5. And this is about a man who has suicidal thoughts, and he hides and suppresses this dark side of his personality with watching a obscene amounts of porn, and he even interacts with escorts on websites and on webcams, and it's a very unusual story, but I really appreciated it. So I'm going to rate this whole collection. I'm going to be fair. I was going to rate it 4 stars, but I want to be fair to you guys and to Mike himself. So I'm going to rate this a 3.5 stars out of 5. So that's it, guys. That is my review for Peel Back and See. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. And please let me know if you have been encouraged to read some of Mike's work. Let me know if you're going to be entering this giveaway. And let me know if you've read anything else by Mike Thorn. And please, let's support this wonderful author and his writing. He is so good, he really is. So with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.